Modern life has turned our minds into crowded train stations. You sit down to read a single page, and before you know it, you've checked 3 apps, answered 2 messages, scrolled through a feed you won't remember, and forgotten why you picked up the book in the first place. Your brain isn't broken. It has simply been trained to live in fragments. There is a word in Zen for the opposite of this fragmentation. A discipline once practiced by monks and warriors and later echoed by masters like Miyamoto Musashi. Ichigyo Zammai. The complete absorption in a single act until nothing remains but you and what is in front of you. This is not productivity hacking. It is a way of being. And to understand it, we follow one man who was quietly being destroyed by distraction. Chapter 1. The Collapse. Elias Ward was 27 when he understood his life was no longer his. He wasn't choosing his actions. He was reacting to everything around him. His days at the software company felt like trying to work inside a room full of screens that never stopped flashing. Emails, tickets, messages, more windows, more noise. At first, he believed this constant stimulation meant he was driven. That constant busyness meant progress. But the cracks appeared slowly. He began forgetting simple things. A variable name, a meeting, a promise he made to his team. His manager's tone tightened over time. "You're skilled, Elias, but your attention is scattered. We need you fully present." He worked later, slept less, added more caffeine. He tried to force himself into focus through sheer pressure. It never worked. His mind felt like a browser with too many tabs open, each one silently draining power. One night, after yet another exhausting day, Elias sat on the last train home. His hands shook, his chest tightened. A sudden wave of panic hit him like cold water. He stepped off 2 stations early and sat on a bench, breathing fast, trying to understand what was happening to him. For the first time, he faced a truth he had avoided. He wasn't weak, he wasn't unmotivated, he was overwhelmed by the weight of constant fragmentation. A single thought formed in the quiet that followed. If I'm falling apart at 27, what will be left of me at 40? He knew something needed to change, but he had no idea what that change was supposed to be. Chapter 2. The Calligrapher. A week later, Elias wandered through a narrow side street while trying to clear his head. Among the quiet storefronts, one window made him stop. Behind the glass hung a sheet of rice paper. A single Japanese character brushed in thick black ink. Balanced, calm, entirely itself. It radiated a kind of stillness he hadn't felt in years. The sign above the door read, "Studio Sato, Calligraphy and Zen Practice." Curiosity, or perhaps desperation, pulled him inside. The air smelled faintly of ink and cedar. Behind a low wooden desk sat an elderly woman in a simple kimono. Her name was Sato Yumi. She didn't smile, but her presence felt steady, grounded, immovable. "You seem worn out," she said gently. "Not in your body, in your mind." Elias laughed quietly. "That obvious?" He told her about the noise in his head, the constant interruptions, the growing anxiety, the feeling of being chased by his own thoughts. She listened without interruption, as if each word mattered. Then she dipped a brush into ink and wrote 4 characters with one fluid motion. Ichigyo Zammai. She pushed the paper toward him. "This," she said, "is the art of total absorption. One act, whole attention." Elias tilted his head. "So, focus?" "Not focus," she corrected. "Union. When monks sweep the floor, there is only sweeping. When a swordsman draws his blade, there is only the blade. Miyamoto Musashi fought duels with impossible odds because his mind did not split. He became the act. She looked at him with calm certainty. You do not need to escape your world. You need to learn how to remain whole inside it. For reasons he didn't fully understand, Elias agreed to return the next day. Chapter 3. The Lesson of the Single Line. Sato greeted him with a brush, ink, and a blank sheet of rice paper. Draw one line, she said. A single vertical stroke, slowly, with your full being. Elias lifted the brush, already doubting the exercise. But as he began, his mind erupted. Did I reply to that email? What if my manager messages me? Why am I doing this? This is ridiculous. My phone is buzzing. The line came out shaky and uneven. Sato nodded. This is how your mind normally behaves, splitting, jumping, predicting, running. She had him try again. Notice when the mind leaves the line, she instructed. Don't fight it, don't judge it. Simply say, wandering, and return. Line after line, breath after breath. Something shifted. For a few seconds at a time, there were no deadlines, no notifications, no worries about his future. Only the stroke, only the movement of ink across the page. This is Ichigyo Zammai, she said. Not forcing attention, returning attention, again and again, gently, with respect. Then she added one sentence that struck him deeply. You cannot control the noise of the world, but you can control where your mind rests. Chapter 4. The Ritual of Focus. Elias decided to bring the practice into his work. He built a small ritual for deep focus, a modern warrior's preparation before stepping into the arena. Step 1. Clear the environment. Phone in another room. Notifications off, only one window open. Step 2. Define the action. This block is only for refactoring this function. Step 3. 3 slow breaths. Step 4. Begin. When distraction appeared, he said, wandering in his mind, and returned to the task. The first day was brutal. His mind screamed for stimulation. Check your messages. Open a new tab. Play music. Just one quick look. He returned his attention dozens of times per sprint. By the third day, the noise softened. By the end of the week, something remarkable happened. He looked up and realized an hour had passed without a single detour. For the first time in years, he had finished more in one afternoon than he previously did in 2. He understood something important. He wasn't lazy. He was untrained. Chapter 5. The Warrior's Mind at Work. Over the next months, Elias began applying Ichigyo Zammai everywhere. When he ate, he ate. No phone, no distraction, only taste, texture, warmth. When he spoke to someone, he gave them his full attention. He listened instead of preparing his reply. When he walked to work, he noticed the morning air, the sound of the street, the way sunlight moved across windows. Life stopped feeling like a blur and regained depth. At work, his results changed. His code became cleaner, his solutions sharper, his presence stronger. His manager noticed quickly. Your attention to detail is different. You're not rushing anymore. He didn't explain the ink strokes or the studio, but every task felt like drawing a single flawless line, one moment at a time. This was the stoic heart of Ichigyo Zammai. Control what is yours. Release what is not. Live entirely inside the present action. Chapter 6. The Brain Behind the Blade. Neuroscience explained what he was experiencing. With each return to the task, He was strengthening neural pathways in the prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for focus, discipline, and decision-making. Studies showed that regular attention training increases gray matter density. The brain becomes physically better at holding focus. Other research revealed that the brain's default mode network, the system responsible for mind wandering, quieted down through practices like Ichigyo Zammai. Each time Elias noticed his attention drifting and gently guided it back, he wasn't just working harder, he was reshaping his brain, upgrading a dirt path into a paved road. This was not mysticism, it was neuroplasticity in action. Chapter 7. Living in Single Strokes. Years passed. Elias rose from junior developer to team lead. Young programmers asked him for his secret. He always gave the same answer. "I'm not faster than you. I just do one thing at a time." Some dismissed it. Others tried it and were shocked at what they felt. Work without panic, without fragmentation, without the constant pull of another tab. Elias still visited Sato's studio, still drew lines on rice paper, still practiced the quiet discipline that changed his life. He understood now what Musashi meant when he wrote that mastery begins in the mind, not the sword. The true battle had never been against deadlines or pressure or competition. It was against the restless mind within. Chapter 8. The path in front of you. You do not need a temple, a sword, or a calligraphy brush to practice Ichigyo Zammai. You only need the next action. When you drink tea, let there be only tea. When you read, let there be only the page. When you work, choose one clear task and give it your entire presence. Your mind will wander. Good. That is part of the path. Each return is a vote for the person you are becoming. Someone not pulled into 1,000 directions. Someone who lives with intention instead of reaction. Someone who meets each moment fully alive. One act, whole heart, again and again, until your life becomes a series of steady strokes instead of a blur. Be present. Walk with honor. Follow the path in front of you.